Hollywood, the home of the rich and the famous, the birthplace of cinema. The glamour, the riches, and the lifestyles leave us hanging on their every moment. But not all of its secrets are the glitzy success stories they seem. In fact, Hollywood, whilst propelling some to superstardom, has chewed up and spat out more ambitious hopefuls than you or I have had hot dinners. It has been host to scandal, murder, crime, and every inch of it has a secret to spill, if somebody's listening. Some of those will go to the grave, and some are already talking from beyond it. Hollywood has always been home to the devious, whether it be money-pinching studios, payroll drug dealers, shady fixers, mobsters, or simply stars with too much money and little to no inhibitions. It's time to peek behind the curtain. Let's take a look at some of the ghosts of the past and what macabre tales they have to tell. In this episode, we uncover the haunting story of Jean Spangler, a rising starlet whose life was tragically cut short in the heart of Hollywood in a mystery suited to a film noir. Jean Spangler, born in 1923 in Seattle, was a young woman with dreams as big as the Hollywood sign itself. Her journey began on the dance floors of nightclubs, where her grace and charisma turned heads, and her name began to shine. As she waltzed her way through the golden age of cinema, Spangler worked tirelessly as an extra, determined to make a name for herself in Hollywood. Her dedication and passion led her to film sets, where she crossed paths with some of the biggest names in the industry. But on October 7, 1949, at the tender age of 27, Jean Spangler vanished without a trace. Her disappearance sent shockwaves through the entertainment world and left the City of Angels in a state of bewilderment. The evening started off well enough when at 5:30 p.m., Spangler left her Park La Brea apartment on Colgate Avenue for work as an extra, leaving her 5-year-old daughter Christine with her sister-in-law Sophie for the evening. Spangler's mother, Florence, with whom she shared the apartment, was away visiting relatives in Kentucky at the time. Prior to her work start time, Spangler had informed Sophie that she was going to be meeting her ex-husband, Dexter Benner, to discuss child support payments. The two had only recently settled a long custody battle over their daughter, Christine. Spangler called the apartment about 2 hours after she left to ask about her daughter and tell Sophie not to expect her home until the next morning because she would be working a full 8-hour shift. When Spangler hadn't returned by Saturday night, Sophie called the police. She came down the stairs and asked how she looked, Sophie later told reporters. She smiled at me, and then her little girl, Christine, asked where she was going. Going to work, Jean answered again, but she winked at me when she said it. A manhunt was launched, with volunteers and police combing every inch of her last trace. 2 days after her disappearance, a chilling discovery was made in Griffith Park, Jean's torn purse. Inside, a cryptic note sent shivers down investigators' spines. It was addressed to someone named Kirk and read, "Kirk, can't wait any longer. Going to see Dr. Scott. It will work best this way while Mother is away." The unfinished sentence, leaving more questions than answers. This mysterious note ignited a flurry of theories and speculations, plunging the Hollywood elite into a state of paranoia. To this very day, no one has seen or heard from Jean, who left for set one day and vanished without a trace. An even more disturbing twist in the tale was that the Screen Extras Guild confirmed to investigators that Spangler had no call for work that night. TV studios also had no record of her employment for that date. So if not at work, where had she been? Investigators questioned Benner about her statement to Sophie that she was going to meet him. He claimed to have not seen his former wife for several weeks. A statement corroborated by his new wife, Lynn Lasky Benner. A worker at the farmer's market, close to Spangler's home, recalled seeing her browsing the aisles around 6 p.m. and noted that she appeared to be waiting for someone. Sophie confirmed that she had not taken any money out with her that evening. This was to be the last known sighting of Jean Spangler. One theory suggested that Jean Spangler may have fallen victim to a botched abortion, a desperate and clandestine choice made in a time when such procedures were illegal and dangerous. Another theory implicated her ex-husband, embroiled in a bitter custody battle over their young daughter. Could the custody dispute have escalated to a sinister level? Following the immediate aftermath of the disappearance, custody of her and Benner's daughter, Christine, was temporarily awarded to Benner on October 27, 1949. The following year, a further custody battle ensued between Benner and Florence. Benner had been denying visitation to Florence on the basis that she was upsetting Christine talking about her mother. Benner even defied a court order that permitted her to visit the child, a defiance that would cost him 15 days in jail for being in contempt of court. Instead, he fled California with his daughter and later settled in Florida until his death in 2007. Speculation reached even darker depths, with rumors of connections to the mafia, given her association with nightclubs frequented by underworld figures. Did her dancing days lead her into a deadly web of organized crime? In the early days of Hollywood, organized crime and the glamour waltzed hand in hand, and many were unable to avoid interactions in a shared space. No strong connections were ever proven, so this could simply be a theory based on connection by association. As the investigation unfolded, the spotlight turned to a surprising source, Hollywood superstar Kirk Douglas, who had crossed paths with Jean recently on a movie set. Douglas initially denied any memory of her, but later changed his story. "I told Detective Chief Thad Brown that I didn't remember the girl or the name until a friend recalled it was she who worked as an extra in a scene with me in my picture. Young man with a horn," Douglas was quoted as saying in the October 13, 1949 issue of the San Bernardino Sun. "Then I recalled that she was a tall girl in a green dress and that I talked and kidded with her a bit on the set, as I have done with many other people. But I never saw her before or after that, and have never been out with her." Following this line investigation, Jean's mother Florence vaguely recalled her daughter mentioning a Kirk from the movie set. Her friend Robert Cummings revealed that she had hinted at a new romance just a week before her disappearance. "I asked her if it was serious," he told the Los Angeles Times. "She said, 'Not exactly, but I'm having the time of my life.' Could this Kirk be the elusive love interest she had spoken of? The true identity of Kirk remains a buried secret, but the ever-changing landscape of Hollywood made it impossible to pinpoint the true identity of this elusive Kirk. The shadow of suspicion stretched further when rumors about Kirk Douglas's character in his early years came to light. In a memoir written by Natalie Wood's sister, Lana Wood, she alleged that Kirk Douglas had raped Natalie when she was just a teenager. While Kirk Douglas vehemently denied these accusations, they cast a long shadow over his reputation, adding to the intrigue surrounding his possible involvement in Jean Spangler's case. Furthermore, Kirk Douglas openly admitted that he hadn't always been the pleasant and charming man the public came to know and love. His confession about his youthful demeanor raised questions about his past behavior and connections. Amidst these rumors and revelations, Kirk Douglas's link to Jean Spangler remains a tantalizing mystery, leaving investigators and true crime enthusiasts searching for answers in the dark underbelly of Hollywood. In the aftermath of Jean Spangler's disappearance, Hollywood never truly recovered. The chilling uncertainty of her fate served as a stark reminder that even the glitziest dreams could be shattered by the darkest realities. But the story doesn't end there. Enter Steve Hodel, a former LAPD detective who has spent years investigating this case. Steve believes he has unearthed a chilling connection between Jean Spangler's disappearance and his own family. The most shocking theory to arise from the investigations implicated the notorious Black Dahlia killer. The macabre similarities between their cases has sent chills down the spines of amateur investigators ever since. Steve Hodel alleges that his own father, Dr. George Hodel, might have been involved in Spangler's murder. But the darkness doesn't stop here. Hodel takes it even further, suggesting that his father could have been the infamous Black Dahlia killer. The uncanny resemblance between Spangler and Black Dahlia victim Elizabeth Short is uncanny. Unearthed district attorney documents and logs indicate a connection between the two. Short killing, Spangler's disappearance, and other unsolved murders in Hollywood, including Jean French in 1947 and Gladys Kern in 1948. The Black Dahlia case, a gruesome and haunting chapter in Hollywood's history, unfolded in January 1947 when the mutilated body of Elizabeth Short was discovered in a vacant lot. Her body had been severed at the waist, and her mouth was grotesquely slashed from ear to ear, earning her the chilling moniker, the Black Dahlia. The brutality of the murder shocked the nation, and the investigation led to countless dead ends. The Black Dahlia case became one of the most infamous unsolved murders in history, haunting the city and captivating true crime enthusiasts for generations. Steve Hodel's belief that his father, Dr. George Hodel, could have been the Black Dahlia killer is a chilling revelation. Dr. Hodel's connections to Spangler and the similar modus operandi in both cases have led to disturbing speculations. As we delve into the gruesome details of the Black Dahlia murder, the horrifying truth becomes even more evident. Elizabeth Short's body was meticulously and sadistically mutilated, her remains left on display for the world to see. If Jean Spangler was also a victim of the killer, it does beg the question, why were her remains hidden, whilst Elizabeth's mutilated corpse was forced to suffer one final humiliating injustice, even in death? Steve Hodel's relentless pursuit of the truth leaves us with haunting questions. Could Dr. George Hodel have been the elusive Black Dahlia killer, and did his dark secrets extend to the disappearance of Jean Spangler? Spangler may have called for help later that night at a gas station near the Sunset Strip. A station attendant named Art Rogers told police that a man and woman matching Spangler's description came to the station in a blue-gray convertible early that morning. The man bought gas and told Rogers they were headed to Fresno, but as they drove off, the woman, who shrank down in the passenger seat, cried out, "Have the police follow this car." Rogers called police, but by the time they responded, the trail was cold. Hodel believes his father was this man spotted with Spangler. He fits the description, and he drove a 1936 black Packard sedan resembling the one Rogers described. The vehicle also matches descriptions of cars seen leaving the Short crime scene. In 1947, as investigators struggled to crack the Black Dahlia case, the Los Angeles Examiner printed a map with the headline, "Black Sedan Hunted in LA as Death Car." Was this the same car? Hodel thinks so. "It's my belief she started dating Dad either late September or early October," he says. He gets arrested for incest on October 6th and bails out the same day. Then, the night of her disappearance, she's seen talking to this guy in the restaurant, and they're arguing. She knew something. His father was possibly driven to kill Spangler following an argument over charges of incest filed by his daughter Tamar. Though Dad didn't necessarily need a reason, he adds. Determined to find definitive evidence of his father's crimes, Hodel got clearance to look for forensics at the Soden house in 2012. He hired retired police sergeant Paul Dosty to walk the property with his dog Buster. During two searches, in November 2012 and September 2013, Dosty recovered soil samples from the basement and the slope behind the house, where Buster indicated the smell of human remains. Forensic anthropologist Arpad Vass tested the samples and identified the presence of human remains in the soil. Based on chemical distribution, Vass believes human remains most likely could be found in an area adjacent to the Soden house lot. In an Only in Hollywood twist, that home belonged to that 70s show star Laura Prepon at the time. Hodel says the LAPD brushed off the discovery, but he reached out to Prepon via her attorney, requesting permission to conduct a non-invasive sweep of her property. His request was denied, says Hodel, who adds that he has not followed up on searching that space since the fall of 2013, but intends to down the road. Prepon's spokesperson declined to comment to EW, stating the actress no longer owns the property in question. Still, Hodel suspects that answers are hidden in that soil. It could well be the body of a Jane Doe whose body was never found, or Jean Spangler, he asserts. As we continue our investigation into the tangled web of Hollywood, one thing becomes clear. The glamorous exterior hides secrets more sinister than any movie plot.